Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and today we're going to be taking a look at Hand of Fate, developed by Defiant Developments, a small indie team. They've published and developed this game. It spent a little bit of time on early access, which I imagine is what made this game possible for them, and it just recently was pushed out into its full release. It's on Steam, it's $19.99 if you're here in the States, and it is actually a wonderful little surprise. We're going to check it out today. It's this really interesting sort of card game slash RPG hybrid. It has a lot of elements that are reminiscent of things like Dungeons and Dragons. The combat system is actually, well, very simple, little bits and pieces of games like Arkham Origins. Before we go ahead and start, though, I wanted to thank a longtime subscriber, Millermatic, because he actually donated this game alongside of Frozen Cortex to the channel. It's the reason that we're able to check this game out today, and it's the reason that we'll be able to check out Frozen Cortex in the coming weeks. So a big thank you to him for those donations. That's just freaking awesome. Thanks a lot, man. Let's go ahead and dive into Hand of Fate, though, man. This is a game that has genuinely pleasantly surprised me. As someone who just recently got into DMing Dungeons and Dragons, this game kind of hit really close to me. Dungeons and Dragons was not something that I grew up around. You know, I grew up in the era where pen and paper wasn't big. I didn't have friends who were playing it. I didn't have friends who knew how to play it, but it always intrigued me, and it always, you know, it had my attention more than just about any other role-playing game out there, because it's endlessly creative. You know, you can do just about anything with it. It's all in the imagination. And the same goes for a lot of card games, and Hand of Fate definitely has elements of that. It uses cards to tell the sort of core main bits of the story and to help keep the action flowing, but at the same time it's using text-based dialogue and decision making, things that you'd find in old text adventures, and then it also throws in this sort of, you know, real-time action RPG system. So let's just check it out, because I can sit here all day and try and explain the bits and pieces of this game and, you know, what it's like. But the best way to show that to you guys is just to play it. So we're going to hop into our story mode here. There's also an endless mode, which I do not have unlocked just yet. I believe you have to beat the story mode first. Basically, the way the story mode works is that the dealer over there has a bunch of pawns that are, you know, sort of working for him. And you go through and you actually defeat each of these pawns. So you can see we have the Jack of Dust. I've already defeated him. He was basically the tutorial boss. There's a little bit of lore about him you can read, so the game does a good job of giving the player lots of little bits of background information, despite being, you know, sort of random and still very much influenced by the deck of cards that you bring to the table. The Jack of Skulls we defeated. Jack of Skulls was one of the first bosses to actually have its own set of challenges, and we can also read its lore if we wanted to. Now what we're currently on is the Queen of Dust. Not only does she have her own set of challenges, she has a set of curses. Luckily only one curse, that curse being money bags. In combat, the player's movement speed is reduced by how much gold they possess. So not good there. We can also read the lore for the Queen of Dust. The Bandit Queen was taken by slavers as a child and raised in the desert. Over the years, she has bribed and murdered her way to her current position as second in command of the Desert Thieves, proving herself capable of ruthless cunning. So let's go ahead and select her. Now, before we go ahead and start the game, we can actually use the deck builder and build our own decks. We can build our own equipment deck and our own encounter deck. Now, as you play the game and as you defeat the different bosses, you'll actually unlock more cards to go in each of your different decks. We're going to go ahead and use a recommended deck for now, but just know that right from the get-go, you can start building your own custom deck if you're into that sort of thing. At the same time, you can just use the recommended one and have just as good of a time. So let's go ahead and start the game. Our wonderful dealer here, the mysterious man in the mask, is going to go ahead and deal our cards. I wouldn't say that the game is exceptionally pretty, but I don't think that's the point. It's trying to nail a certain feeling, a certain atmosphere, one of my favorite words, and the game does that very, very well. It makes it a very fun place to be. Sitting here, you can sort of imagine yourself sitting at the deck with this man, the smell of incense and candles in the air, and old fabrics and books all over the place. You know, they've done a nice job with the atmosphere. It's a good feeling game in that way. But before we go ahead and actually start moving through the cards on the table, let's take a look at our inventory here. This is a very important part of the game. We can actually click on that and we can get a rough visualization of what's going on here. Our character, we can take a look at his current equipment. We can see also slots where he does not currently have equipment. We don't have a helm, we have no shields, we have no artifacts, we have no trinkets, and we have no gloves. We can also take a look at our blesses and our cursing. or curses, as they say. So just a nice little inventory system. The important stuff, though, is right down here. Our health card, which tells us how much health we have and our potential full health. Also the amount of food we have and the amount of gold that we have. Excuse me. Now, the amount of food that we have is very important, because without food, we cannot continue our venture and we will starve to death. Now, every turn you take, every card you move to that is placed on the table is going to go ahead and use 1 food. Now that's about it for the core basics. Let's just start playing this damn thing. On to the next card. We stumbled upon the maiden. So this is where the text-based element of the game comes into play. One day in a shady forest, you encounter an elf maiden. She stops to greet you. I am Marith of the Forest Folk. My people have long helped the mortals of this realm. What boon would you ask of me? Now, if there's anything that I've learned from playing this game for a couple hours or so, it's that food is very important. Now, we could ask it for a longer life, which would most likely extend our maximum health capabilities. We could ask for gold, which would give us money, which is always nice, but I feel that food is much more important, so we're going to ask for supplies. She gave us bread, and then the dealer's going to go ahead and draw us 2 food gain cards. So these are cards from a deck. So we got 3 food on that one, and let's see what we got on the second one, and 3 food on that one. Now we could have possibly gotten a food card that gave us 10. You know, there's still a randomness to what's in the deck. Many enchanted weapons have powerful abilities that can turn the tide of battle, but only if their wielder remembers to use them. Farewell, mortal. Wise words from a wise woman. On to the next card. Goblins. Treasure goblins, it seems. One night you awaken to find your belongings being rifled through by goblins. As soon as they notice you stirring, they run away. They've stolen some of your food and gold. You scramble to your feet and chase after the thieves. As you rise to your feet to retrieve your belongings, you realize that it's not only goblins stirring in this dungeon. The dealer draws you 1 monster card. Damn, so we get 3 goblins and 2 skeletons. Now, this is where the game takes a turn. Not for the worse, but for the better. This is the real-time combat system that the game actually employs. So we're tossed into these nice little worlds. You know, they get the job done. They're a nice little visual representation of the situation, and we have some real-time combat. The combat is, it's almost painfully simple, I'll be honest. I don't thoroughly enjoy it. I feel like the game could do without it, but it's here. As it currently stands, we have our axe. We have nothing equipped in our second hand, so we can kick and stun our targets, and then we can also use a dodge roll to avoid any incoming attacks. We're going to want to get rid of these skeletons as quickly as possible because, like any good treasure goblin, these treasure goblins have the ability to open a portal and escape, so... Oh, as you can see right there, he's trying to get away. No, you dirty, dirty. Well, we're losing 2 of them. No, no, we lost all of our goodies. Oh, we got some of our gold back. That was rough, man. I said it was simple. I didn't say it was easy. That's actually the first time I've had that happen. That was rough, man. I should have probably engaged the goblins earlier on. Maybe they would have been distracted by the skeletons, but I don't think that would have been the case. That's actually really rough. Okay, on to the next card. Anyways, the past is the past. Onto a maze of traps, it seems. You found a goblin treasure cave. Will you enter? Hell yes, I'll enter. You don't pass up treasure caves. Doesn't matter if there's a bunch of dead guys laying at the doorway. You venture onward with the possibility of treasure in your mind. Now, when you look at the situations like this that they throw the player into, you know, the combat, these dungeons, the other option, the other alternative in a classic sort of card game like Hand of Fate would have been to use some sort of a random number generator or a dice roll, and then have the outcome of that just, you know, chosen by the dice roll or by the random number generator. They've chosen to let the player play it out. I mean, I think this part of the game is going to go one way or the other for everybody. I lost 10 health there. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. You know, maybe you'll be in between. I really don't know. I don't hate it. I just feel like I may have possibly enjoyed it more if the game used a dice roll, but at the same time, maybe the game would lose some of its charm without that. The visualization of certain portions of the game is definitely nice. You know, I think this would be a great game to play on a hollow table, if such a thing existed. However, we made it through. The dealer's going to draw us 3 gain cards. Let's see what we found. We got 15 gold. Could always use some gold. Always helpful. 30 gold. Actually, in this case, it's not helpful because it's going to make us move slower, and we got 15 health though, so that's going to bring our health back to 100, so that is always great. Make our way out of the Goblin Cave and on to the next card. Mr. Lionel. Now, of course, as you play the game, you're going to build a larger and larger deck, and you're going to be able to have more, more randomness, more to your encounters. But at the same time, there are always going to be cards that are going to end up coming up in the deck that you've already encountered. So the situations are often, you're going to run into some of the same situations. That's just the nature of the game. But I actually like Mr. Lionel. I mean, he may look like a hideous goblin trying to disguise himself as a human, but he's a good man. Let's read what he has to say. My name is Mr. Lionel. If you give me what I need, boy, I will conjure up your heart's desire with this wizarding wand of my own creation. I feel like he would sound a lot dirtier than that, but we can give him the bread from our plate. We can give him 20 gold. We could ask him what he needs, or we can ignore him. Well, I don't really want to give him any more food. I actually don't mind giving away gold, but we really do need a helmet. Helmets are beneficial. If we run into a shopkeeper, I'd like to purchase a helm. Let's ask him what he needs. I need to help you. He taps his staff on the ground and his shield materializes at your feet. There you go, old bean. He smiles a warm grin that reveals all his chipped and yellow teeth. Your face reminds me of my son. I haven't met you before, have I? So he gave us a shield.
Now you can counter opponents if your timing is right.
Then before you stop him with inhuman speed, he snatches a pickled onion off your plate and sprints out the tavern door. I cannot tell you how many times that card has come up when I've been playing this game and I gave him money or bread for that shield. Had I known all along that he would have just given me the shield. Man. Alright, anyways, we got a shield. Let's go ahead and take a look at our inventory, make sure that thing's equipped. Alright, we're good to go. And on to the next card. Down the stairs we go, on to the next leg of our adventure.
Now, you come closer and closer to the final battle.
This is a big hand. This is an intimidating hand. We really need some food. If we ever have the opportunity to find some or purchase some, we need to make that happen. As you can see though, you can go in any direction. Not any direction, but you can go in several directions off, and you can also travel backwards. So if you go to a shop, you don't have enough gold, next turn you run into a treasure cave and you get a boatload of gold, you can actually go back and purchase from that seller. You don't have to just always continue forward. Think of these as sections of the adventure, locations on the map within your journey, not so much as cards simply being dealt to you. Let's go upward and then we'll come down and around. Dead King's Hall.
Greed. If it were not for greed, then who would play it?
You see an ancient, ornate coffin in the main burial chamber. It may hold spectacular wealth, but it will surely be guarded. Draw 2 monster cards. I would love to see this as a straight-up card game. I really would. Looks like we'll be facing 5 monsters. I just think that would be wonderful. I mean, I would play this. You could just, like I said, that real-time combat, replace it with a D20. A couple different types of dice rolls. It'd be wonderful. All right, attempt to take them by surprise. So we have 2 chances for huge success and 2 chances for failure. Whew. That was close. Huge success. Suddenly you leap into the fray, taking one of them down before they can even react. So we cut the numbers. We now only have 2 targets that we have to face off against. Oh wait, we can discard a whole entire card. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Down to 2 monsters. Let's do this thing. Whew, here we go. I love this little intro cinematic they do every time, though, with the, not really cinematic, the little bit of an intro there. Always fun. So you can see that little green set of icons above these guys' head. That is basically our counter mechanic. Like I said, very similar to what you find in, like, Batman. The Rocksteady Batman games. Taking him down. No, we are one ugly mofo. Those dudes got some gnarly 6-packs. Alright. You loot the room. The drawer deals you 3 game cards. Let's see what we have here. We've got 2 from the armory, 1 to keep. Awesome, awesome. What do we got here? So We could take another shield. We really don't need one, though. However, the Scavenger's Camp. Whenever the player gains food, they will receive 45% extra food. Awesome. Totally going to take that. We also got another 3 food. That was a... Oh, and then plus 15 gold. That was a nice encounter. I mean, that worked out for us on just about every single possible level. All right. I'm digging that. Let's make sure that our helm is equipped. It is. Good to go. And let's move on to the next card. Rockfall.
Stones tumble upon you.
This is never good. All right, let's attempt to dodge the rocks. So we actually have one chance to succeed. I've had, oh, this is rough. I've had no luck with these encounters. I should have been paying attention to the cards. At least I would have had somewhat of an educated guess. What are you guys feeling? I wish you could tell me right now. Oh, huge failure. You slip and stumble into the path of the rockfall. The dealer draws you 2 pain cards. Lose 5 max health. That is rough. Oh, okay. That's permanent injury. We've now lost 10 max health. We are down to 90 out of 90. Just when you think it's over, a large rock bounces off your helm. Looking up, you spot bandits on the hill above you. At least we had the helmet on in the first place. You hear a voice somewhere above you say, "Did I hit him?" Run up to attack the bandits. Hell yeah, you just threw rocks at us. These guys are going down. I don't care how many of them there are. It's only 7. We got this. I wish I had Frostfang. It's one of the best swords you can get in the game so far for me, and it's wonderful. This is a really small place to be fighting all these guys, but at least we have that shield. We can do some countering here. Hopefully our timing will be true. Oh, lost our combo there. Actually losing a lot of health too. We're down to 60 out of 90. That is really not good for us. Probably could click a little less furiously, but that's just the nature of the game, it seems, for me. So I think a lot of people are gonna like the direct control that you have over those situations. Since it's already a card game, there is a small bit of randomness just to the draw of the hand. You know, each card that's dealt to you, you then remove the randomness that would have been a dice roll or a random number generator with player, you know, decision. Okay, you can do everything in your capable hands. It's all under your control. Make it happen. You know, you don't have to worry about what's going to be, you know, the outcome based on a dice roll. Okay, we got some throwing knives. And we got a better shield, so cool. We can sell the old one. We can equip this one. And let's continue along the top row, and then we'll cut our way back down. Traveling Tinker, awesome. Let's see if we can sell some of these goods. Maybe get ourselves some health back if possible, because we are not doing well here, health-wise. Greetings, wise traveler. I have much to offer you. Okay, approach the shop. Yeah, I love the little visualization, you know? It's nice. It's a nice touch. But at the end of the day, the reason that Hand of Fate is so great, it's all down to the cards, you know, to that portion of the game. It's a well-designed card game is what it is. Card game / text-based adventure. That's really what makes this game genuinely enjoyable, in my opinion. Let's sell some of our excess stuff here. Let's sell this old shield. 3 gold. That's a real whopper.
Defense must always be balanced by offense.
We'll keep the throwing knife because that's always pretty vital. We could probably use more food at this point. Let's see what he has for items, though. If we could get some armor, maybe. That's a tough choice. We do have Frostfang there, but the Chains of Rage.
Chains for armor, as you will.
So this is 40. That's nearly all of our gold. I mean, if I was a little better at dodging, but I mean, Frostfang is just 25 damage plus we can actually freeze our targets. Let's go with Frostfang. Hell yes. We're actually at 34 gold now, and that's 40. I think we can actually sell, maybe if we're lucky, be able to sell this other.
In the end,
It wasn't worth anything actually. It was just junk. Our initial weapon that we had equipped was junk, so we didn't actually get anything for it. So back to the road. Thank you, good salesman. I appreciate your. Well, actually, I'm sure he appreciates our business. I appreciate his sales. Let's continue on the way. Treasure chest.
open the chest, see what it contains. I'm curious.
Yeah, sure. Just open it, right? While exploring a dungeon, you see a treasure chest at the end of a hall. The chest may hold great wealth, but the chamber may be trapped. Alright, let's approach the treasure chest. Let's do it. Yeah, let's go with this one. Oh. You move forward carefully, but suddenly hear a click. The room begins to fill with a deadly gas. Oh, crap. Yes. Alright. You dive through the billowing clouds to reach the other side safely. You approach the treasure chest. Oh, we still get to the treasure chest. The treasure chest looks battered, but still intact. What treasure might it hold? Let's pry it open. Jam the sword in there. Get this thing open.
Choose from these options.
After a mighty heave, the locks give way and the spoils are yours. The dealer draws you 4 gain cards. 4. Yeah, 25 gold. Pack the weight on. We don't... Oh, man.
I'm sure you're grateful for that.
Oh, yeah, no. I love all the gold you're giving me. It's just wonderful. Let's go back and we'll actually... we'll pick up that armor while we're here. I mean, why not? We've got plenty of gold now, and along with that curse, I'd rather get rid of as much of this gold as quickly as possible. We'll buy some food while we're there, too. It's a nice little balancing act, and the game definitely gets difficult the more you play it, you know. I mean, this is only the 3rd boss in. There's not as many cards in my hand or in the dealer's hand, so we're going to start to see a lot more curse balls, a lot more curses, and the game is going to become much, much harder, but I would say that it has a very nice learning curve. It is not steep, it's very gradual. It eases you into the game, and the whole time, I've just been entranced by what, to me, is a really pleasant atmosphere in this game, and it is just genuinely nice. Oh, he's got different cards this time around. I should have known that. Helm of Reflection. Damn it. We needed that armor.
There is little material gain to be made.
Faints the victims. I mean, we could get rid of that helm that we have, the scavenger's cap.
Defense, but a valuable one nonetheless.
But you have to, I mean, it's, I really don't see the direct benefit of that. I'm not going to be messing around with reflecting projectiles.
Surprised to see you turning your back on gold.
So, let's buy the food. We need the food. Let's buy the biggest amount of food that we can buy here. Stock up. We have the money. And, yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll run into another shopkeeper on the way. Let's go ahead and leave the shop for now. You notice that with every turn we take, every bit of food that we consume, we also gain a little bit of health. And we found the Queen of Dust.
Causes turned to rotten
All right, let's finish this thing. Let's do it.
You may win
This is her.
battle
I'm ready for this.
and send the queen to her rightful end.
I'm ready for it.
What have you gained in the process?
You'll notice the small little token down here. Any cards that have that token are usually fresh cards that are the first time you're encountering them. Upon defeating them, you'll gain those tokens, and at the end of the game, even if you lose, those tokens will grant you new cards for your deck. So let's go ahead and let's make this happen. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for this battle. I've been training for this since the beginning of this dungeon. Let's make it happen. So we got 2 creatures, 2 mercenaries, I should say, and the Queen of Dust. She's a very angry pirate with a 2-handed sword, but we have a Frostfang, so I'm feeling confident. Oh, this is a nice little place. I do like the little areas that they've created. I mean, it's not a bad looking game. It really genuinely isn't. You know, the oh, that's an automated. The Unity engine really serves people well these days. There's a lot of devs making really great games with it, you know. Wow, she really swings that sword in one direction for a long period of time there. Kind of difficult to get that ice shot off in the direction that you want it to go. I think we took her out. Yeah, she's burning. That's a victory. Yeah. Oh, we have to kill this thing, don't we? How great is that for like the final blow of the battle, taking down the crossbow system?
Inevitable, I suppose. So often those who beat plowshare to sword die.
Oh, look at that. So we get an upgrade at the end. I was wondering what that was going to be. So the Goblet. Stronger counterattacks. Your counterattacks do more damage. Increased stun. New starter gear. Bandit strength increase. Skeleton strength increase. And bandit throwing knives. So not only do we get some upgrades, but his deck also gets some upgrades. So the game becomes more difficult and we become more powerful. Awesome, awesome. Alright, let's receive our tokens.
You have earned the first of the symbols of my power and passed the first gate.
Oh, it was actually on his desk. That's awesome. That's a nice touch. I like that. I like that a lot.
I was merciful, but now I cannot be. It is begun.
Okay, it's kicking in hardcore mode now.
These cards over the course of years. You have taken them from me in mere moments.
So we have all these cards here. Nice, nice. Brand new cards. The nice thing about this is these cards aren't just adding to your arsenal of weaponry and equipment. You're actually changing the game. They're creating new encounters, more difficult challenges, more interesting challenges. I love it. I really do. There's the equipment. And we could hop into another game if we wanted to go ahead and do so until we've completed all the campaign. There's a ton of content in this game. I mean, you saw how long it took to do one hand, and that was a fairly simple hand. Now start throwing in the more difficult bosses you're going to have to defeat, and there's a lot of content in this game. I mean, there's a lot of content, there's a lot of challenge, and there's a lot of charm. I mean, that's really my impressions of Hand of Fate. It's a game that has pleasantly surprised me, and it's the second one in like a month to do this. This and Darkest Dungeon are just games that I'm absolutely in love with already. They put such a big grin on my face, and yet they are so simple in many ways. I don't know if everyone is going to love the real-time combat system and like the trap dungeons. I personally could have done without them. I think the card game itself is enough, but it's there. I don't think it's terrible. I think, you know, they managed to create nice little bits of visualization with each of those moments, and I particularly love the dealer. I love his voice. He's just a great little character, you know, for such a small studio to pull something off like that. I'm genuinely impressed and pleased, and to be honest, I can't recommend Hand of Fate enough. It's a wonderful little experience. If what you saw here, you know, wasn't enough to sort of get the juices flowing for this, you know, to kick off your interest for this game, check out some more videos on YouTube. There's lots of other people doing more difficult playthroughs. They're playing the harder parts of the game. What I showed off was most definitely the easier portion of the experience, but I think that's the nice thing about Hand of Fate, is that it does have a really well-crafted learning curve. It doesn't just throw you into the deep end. And unlike Darkest Dungeon, it is not... It's a game that's for people who wouldn't call themselves masochists. However, it may get to that stage. I feel like it'll do a good job in leaning you into the art of masochism. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Once again, this has been Hand of Fate, developed by Defiant Developments. It's available on Steam for $19.99. Check it out, give it a go, and also a big thanks to Millermatic for donating this to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.